Hello Word. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hello Word, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of English vocabulary. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. Our word for today is clinical. Now, clinical is a C1 level adjective, which means it's a slightly more advanced word. But don't worry, we're going to break it down and make it super easy to understand. So what does clinical mean? Well, it has two main meanings. First, it refers to something related to medical treatment or healthcare. Think of hospitals, doctors, and medical studies. Second, and this is where it gets interesting, clinical can also describe something that is very efficient and unemotional, almost coldly detached. It lacks personal warmth or feeling. Let's look at some synonyms to help us understand this word better. For the medical meaning, we can use words like medical. For example, the patient showed medical improvement after the surgery. Another synonym is therapeutic. We can say, the massage had a therapeutic effect on my back pain. When we are talking about the unemotional meaning of clinical, some synonyms would be objective, detached, and impersonal. For example, the report was very objective, focusing solely on the facts. Or, her assessment of the situation was detached, almost as if she wasn't involved. We could also say, the letter was impersonal and formal, lacking any personal touch. Now, let's flip things around and explore some antonyms, words with opposite meanings. For the medical sense of clinical, antonyms are a bit trickier, but we could use words implying a lack of medical care, such as non-professional or untreated. For the unemotional sense, we have several great antonyms: emotional, subjective, and personal. Her response was very emotional, filled with tears and heartfelt words. In contrast to a clinical assessment, a subjective opinion is based on personal feelings. His review was highly subjective, reflecting his own biases. And instead of an impersonal or clinical interaction, we can have a personal one. The handwritten note was personal and thoughtful. So, how do we use clinical in everyday life? Let's look at some examples. Imagine you're talking about a new drug. You might say the clinical trials showed promising results. Or if someone is being very cold and analytical, you could comment his approach to the problem was very clinical. You might also hear about a clinical psychologist, which means a psychologist who is trained to provide therapy and assess mental health issues. Another common expression is clinical depression, a serious mental health condition that requires professional treatment. Let's solidify our understanding with a few more usage examples. The hospital offers a wide range of clinical services. Another example, the scientist adopted a clinical approach to the experiment, ensuring no bias influenced the results. The surgeon's clinical precision saved the patient's life. Her clinical analysis of the data revealed a significant trend. He described the accident in clinical detail without any emotion. The lab is conducting clinical research on new vaccines. The doctor has a clinical understanding of the disease. She has a clinical detachment from her family. The judge reviewed the evidence with clinical objectivity. The procedure requires a clinical environment. So, to recap, clinical can refer to medical treatment or a very unemotional and analytical approach. Remember the synonyms like medical, objective, and detached, and the antonyms like emotional, subjective, and personal. Using these words will help you understand and use clinical with confidence. Thank you so much for joining me on Hello Word today. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others discover the show and learn new words. And now for your challenge. Create your own sentence using the word clinical and share it as a comment below. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Until next time, keep learning and keep speaking.